Hey guys, what's going on? It's Julian. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Thank you so much for checking out this video. A couple days ago on our Instagram, we had a poll and we asked you guys if you'd be interested in seeing a behind the lyrics type video series for a couple songs off the Regicide EP. And a lot of people said yes. So here we are. We're doing Regicide and I hope you dig it. So just to set the stage for what the song is really about, overall it's really just about ungrateful people who have no business being ungrateful, people who take things for granted that have no business taking anything for granted because of the amazing people that they have in their life, the amazing privileges that they've been given naturally in a lucky manner, that are just, really fortunate things to have. Meanwhile, you're just like, I'm gonna be a jerk to everybody that loves me, and they're just gonna take it because I'm me and I'm awesome. And I never actually said this except for at a couple of our shows where there weren't a lot of people, so nobody heard it. It's actually about my ex-girlfriend's sister, so do with that information what you will. And also the meaning of the song title, Regicide, is the act of killing a king. So just keep that in mind as the lyrics go on, and it'll make more sense towards the end because I pretty much explain exactly why we chose that name. So starting off here, this is the first verse. I live to be remembered as something more, a different mindset, much more different than before. You sure could do the same if you only gave up. You got all this luck, but nothing to show for it. So I live to be remembered as something more is sort of just a line that represents my mindset about life. Like I really am obsessed with the idea of having a legacy and the idea of being happy about something throughout your entire life. So much so that it not only makes you happy, but it makes other people happy while you're alive and even after you die because you had so much impact in a certain area with certain people. A different mindset, much more different than before, sort of just represents mental growth. The idea of being a person who doesn't really have a whole lot of goals, being a person who sort of just lives day to day and doesn't really aspire to anything major and isn't really working towards anything. The idea of going from being that person to being somebody who's like, okay, I have my eyes on the prize, I know what I need to do to get there, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Which is kind of how I think of myself now, since I think I've really grown and I've gotten really strong mentally. You sure could do the same if you only gave up. It's like kind of like you're just as human as I am, you're in the same circumstances as me, family-wise and financially-wise and all that kind of stuff, living situation-wise, yet you're down here and you're just not shooting for anything and you're super ungrateful, you treat everybody like crap, and you take everything for granted. You got all this luck but nothing to show for it, kind of explained by the previous line. So now we're at the chorus. And I'm so sick of all this misery you inflict on those who help you breathe. Rely on looks to get you by. Step back and take a good look at your life. I got a bird's eye view looking down on you. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Your time is almost up. So I'm so sick of all this misery you inflict on those who help you breathe. Sort of just stepping into the shoes of the people that are in that person's life and thinking about how they must feel. Which is obviously bad, and also taking into account the fact that those are the people that help you breathe, meaning those are the people that, when you need money, they help you out. When you need somewhere to stay, they help you out. When you need food, they help you out. Like when you need anything that's really critical to your survival, they're there for you, they love you, and they care about you. Meanwhile, you're just inflicting all this sadness upon them. Rely on looks to get you by. Step back and take a good look at your life. That's pretty self-explanatory. Rely on looks to get you by, the idea that, oh, I'm pretty so I can do whatever I want in life and achieve my goals. Kind of just taking a crack at how much of a BS idea that is. Step back and take a good look at your life, sort of just saying like, hey, maybe you should check out what you're doing here and stop doing that because everybody's starting to hate you, but they're still loving you because they feel bad. And you could change and the world would be a better place. I got a bird's eye view looking down on you. I think being grateful is something that's super duper important, and I really hate people that aren't grateful, that have a lot of things in life and they're just like, pretty bad people. So that's kind of just me expressing that. Like I view somebody, not just with me, like I think anybody that's grateful is immediately superior or above a person who's not, a person who is just not a good person overall. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, your time is almost up. So wake up, smell the roses, take the blinders off, realize what you're doing to yourself, to those around you, and that you're gonna die someday. So why are you being a piece of garbage? Wonder how many times I've said garbage throughout the course of this video. Alright, so now we're at the second verse. I've got something I need to tell you, but I don't think you're ready for it. I've got something I need to tell you, but I don't think you're ready for it. Put your head over this little basket, wait for the king to call him to remove it. When they ask you for your final words, expect it to hurt. So I've got something I need to tell you, but I don't think you're ready for it. Sort of just symbolizes like, I'm gonna give you this wake-up call, but it's probably not gonna mean anything to you because you're a crazy person. Put your head over this little basket. It kind of gets really analogy heavy here, so head over this little basket is sort of a guillotine reference. So let's say like if you saw people in a video game or a movie from medieval times getting executed, you might see a guillotine, which is that giant thing that they have a blade on, and it comes down on your head and decapitates you, which obviously kills you, and then your head falls into the little basket. It's kind of just sort of an analogy for death. Wait for the king to call him to remove it. I'm not a super religious person or anything like that, but the king is kind of a God reference. Whether or not you believe in God is kind of irrelevant in this situation. Something is inevitably going to lead to your death. And it's pretty much saying like, hey, your head is going to fall off or you're going to die. Going back to the point that I said earlier at the end of the chorus, that's kind of a big theme in the song is like, hey, you're going to die. You should just not be garbage so that you can have a prosperous life. When they ask you for your final words, expect it to hurt. So in other words, they're going to ask you for your final words just before you die. And then you're going to say them, and then you're going to die. So, you know, when your final words happen, expect pain, because you're going to die. So now we're at the breakdown. These lyrics are a little bit self-explanatory. Let's see you suck your way out of this one, bitch. Where's daddy now? Thought you were his princess. You are on your own. So I think the first half, let's see you suck your way out of this one, bitch, is kind of an obvious reference, sexual innuendo towards using that as a way of getting out of something bad. In other words, using sex or your looks as a way of getting out of dying, which is obviously impossible. Hence, let's see you suck your way out of this one. Like, it's never gonna happen. You can't use your looks to get past this one. Good luck, you know. Where's daddy now? Thought you were his princess. You're on your own. It's kind of just a daddy's princess reference, talking about those people who know that they could do anything if they beg to daddy long enough, like, oh, daddy, can I have some money? Daddy, can I do this? Daddy, can I do that? Like that kind of thing. You're on your own. So in other words, daddy's abandoned you, you're doing this, you're about to be in a really crazy life situation, and guess what? Daddy can't help you, and you're on your own. It's also kind of a reference to the idea that daddy got tired of you being a piece of garbage, so he decided to abandon you, and now you gotta make a lot of life decisions on your own. So after the breakdown, the chorus repeats, and then there's a bridge with the guitar solo, and then there's an outro, and the only lyrics in the outro are, there will be no regicide, for you are no king. And what that pretty much means is, remember back to the beginning of the video when I said regicide is the act of killing a king? So what that means is, when you die, when the guillotine comes and cuts your head off, and your head's over that little basket, it's not going to be a regicide because you're not a king, and even though you think you are. You're not nearly as high and mighty as you think you are, and just relax, okay? That's it for this song. There will be one for at least another song. I don't know if I'm going to do two more. I might just do one more. I really hope that you got something out of this and that I cleared some stuff up for you if you have been listening to the song and you've been confused about any lyrics. And we'll catch you later. Bye.
I know you know what we let him get away with. Never show when he love blow us a kiss. Tear us apart, yeah, they never even give a shit.